Good morning, everybody. It is a Monday morning after a wonderful Sunday. And I went walking and, I don't know, there's something in the air. My sinuses, I'm sorry if I'm sniffling today. What's going on today? Well, we have 0.8 months of inventory. We're hanging in there. Let's just hang in there so we have enough homes to sell. We listed 125. That's a wonderful thing, everybody. Let's see, where is everybody this morning? Sleeping in? Maybe. Anyway, yeah, so we're selling 115 homes a month. 115 homes a month. You're probably not used to me being on time. That's the problem. And Jimmy is here. Great, Jimmy. Jimmy, where is he? Here he comes. Here comes Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy. So we still need about 3,500 available homes to get to 1 month of inventory, but at least we listed 125 homes yesterday. So that's the good news. Can't have enough of that sometimes. Let's see if I can't put this up where I want it. Probably not. No, it's still going to be there. Still going to be there. And it's still going to be there. Okay. So, Jimmy, you got your mic on? You got your earbuds on yet?
I'm good,
I can't hear you.
I should be good.
Okay, now I can hear you. It might be my speakers.
Okay.
Let me turn myself
Mine was
up.
turned down too. So
Okay.
now I'm up 100%.
Okay. So, still got the inventory problem. That's becoming, same story, different day. But it looks like people are getting listings, so that's a good thing. And now that the holidays are pretty much over, I was telling somebody the other day, my gosh, we had December, Christmas, we had January, we had New Year's, then we had John's birthday, then we had February, and then we had, was February 2nd Groundhog Day?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we had Valentine's Day and Ruthie's birthday.
And Ruthie's birthday, and then President's Day. And I swear to goodness, this weekend I had so many things planned to do, and I just kind of rested yesterday. I did, and then funny thing, I got up at 11 and worked till 12:30 because this stuff is going on in my mind,
Yep.
something mentally wrong with me. But I'm going to put this down because, Jimmy, I'm so happy that you're here this morning because we had a very strange situation happen yesterday at an open house. So we have an open house. Hi, Karen. Good to see you, my love. Good to see you. So we had an open house yesterday. The girls went over and the doorknobs were missing and the garage door was open. And there were tire marks in the garage because it had a painted floor. And so obviously assuming that someone had burglarized the house. And of course I called the police, and this was the third open house. One Thursday, one Saturday, and then one for yesterday. And I'm telling everybody this, and I want you to listen to the details. So they go in when the police arrived, and all the electronics were missing. Okay. Now, if you looked on Zillow at this house and you looked in the remarks, it says, brand new home, never lived in, fully furnished. And if you did the virtual walkthrough, you saw all the electronic equipment. Now, John's first concern was that they took all the appliances, but they didn't. They meticulously took off the doorknobs, the locks, because those are worth about $150. Then they took the big TV screen and stereo unit in the family room. And here's the key, everybody. Way up in the one of the bedrooms, there was a TV on the floor, kind of tucked away. So my conclusion is that somebody at the open house knew exactly what to do, where to go, and how fast to get out of there. Right? It was a staged idea, in my opinion. So I want to make sure that everybody and we talked about this in class, I think Buffini on Friday. When you have somebody walk into that open house, they have got to sign in. This is COVID. We need to keep our sellers secure. That's our number one issue. And when I talk about compliance, my lead in today was, are you compliant? Are you making everybody sign into that open house? And with email address, phone number, and name. And I think if you are not doing that, you are not practicing good agency. What do you think, Jimmy?
I think not only should you have them sign in with their phone number, you should call the number immediately, right now. Let me make sure I get this number in my phone correctly, and you dial their number. And if they're crooks, they'll freak out. If they're legitimate people, oh, okay, yeah, make sure it's right. Make sure you plug it in there right.
That's a wonderful, I knew that you would have some idea. I knew you would.
Well, I have one more idea. You and I need to find a security company that will put RFID chips on 2 or 3 of the appliances. They're like $4. They're ridiculously cheap. But if they steal the refrigerator and there's an RFID chip in there, the crooks are not going to know that you have an RFID chip in there, and they're going to be able to find the refrigerator and the big screen TV and the stereo system for $12. So you and I need to investigate into that. So if we have a vacant property that's not vacant but unoccupied, that has stuff in there fully furnished, if we tag 4 or 5 of the things in there, it's like putting a tracker in your neck. One of those little chips, you know. I know where Ruthie is because she's got that tracker chip in her neck. We should look into that this week.
I think that's an excellent idea. And in this particular situation, there were a couple different agents. This is another tip. First of all, don't put that there's nobody living in the home.
Right, right.
At least because, see, on the remarks when you go to Zillow, that was the first line, never lived in.
Yeah.
Now it's okay if the agents know that, you know, that it's vacant, of course, in the remarks, but the public remarks, the public doesn't need to know that that house is vacant.
Right, right.
And I know that the agent never even thought of that. They thought that that was, you know, like a plus. Oh, never lived in. Wow, this house is going to be, I understand that. But you can say it in other ways. You can say immaculate, or you can say the house, the house is immaculate. You know,
well, and like you said, if agent to agent remarks, if we put it in agent to agent, does Zillow still get that since they are a local brokerage?
No.
It doesn't go. Okay. So we could do it there because that is a feature. Never lived in is a feature.
It is. But and I quite honestly, I wouldn't have thought of it myself. So, you know, I wouldn't have.
I had one agent show me a video that it was taken at one of their houses. These people showed up at 6 or 7 o'clock at night. It was dark out. They pulled up, they used the lockbox, they got in the house, then they left. Then the next night around 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 other people came over at 2 o'clock in the morning. And this was all recorded by the cameras in the house. There was a camera at the front door, so they knew who was going in, and then they had cameras in the house. The third night, somebody came over like at 1 o'clock in the morning and loaded up a truck with everything in the house and drove off. And they knew they were being recorded, and they didn't care. I don't know if they ever caught them or not. So yeah, we have to notice. We have to get notice when the door has been accessed at 1 o'clock in the morning. Somebody's got to be told, hey, nobody's showing the house at 1 o'clock in the morning. They're there to steal stuff. So if you want me to tell Jack Lindbergh, our guru for cybersecurity, if you want me to have him chase down somebody that can do this for us, I will tell him today. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, you're talking about chasing them down with the RFID or
and a notification on the door. If you're accessing my house at 1 o'clock in the morning, I want to get a phone call.
Oh,
and the smart locks can do that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the doorknobs that are $150, those locks, they can tell you.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you know, that was quite a Sunday for not working. Also, you know what this brought to my mind, Jimmy? Do you think that when somebody's looking at a home, of course you ask them if they have an agent, but if they don't have an agent, should they sign an agency disclosure?
If you can show them the value of doing that, I think that really demonstrates your value as an agent. I think that's pretty strong. I think, you know, people don't work with agents that are not strong unless there's nobody else there. If you can show them, you know what, let me share something with you that you're going to have to do no matter who you choose. This is the duties owed. That would be really, that's service at a high level. They might like that.
They might like that, right? And they might want to deal with you because you did that,
Yeah,
because you
you'd be the
told
only
them.
one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just, I don't think, I think I asked John, I don't think this has ever happened to us before. But, you know, if it's happening to us, it could happen to other people, especially now. And I just want agents to be careful. Please, please, in your remarks, don't put that there's nobody living in the home.
Yep.
You just need to, be careful with your verbiage. And, you know, when I looked at, I pulled it up on Zillow right away when we got the phone call, and it just stuck out because it was even in all caps when everything else
Well,
was
and
not.
you and I both know Article 1 of the Code of Ethics says you're supposed to protect and promote your client's interests while being honest to all parties. Are you protecting your client's interests if you say there's no one living there?
Right.
That could be an ethical complaint too.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. Well,
Thanks
yeah.
for the good news.
Well, it's just something I think, you know, we need to be aware of things like that that happen, and share
We
those
do.
things, definitely.
Yeah.
And I know that we had in our Buffini class, one of our students said that somebody wouldn't sign in, and she just said, "You can't come in,"
Yep.
and that was very strong. And she didn't come in. She wouldn't sign, and she didn't get in. So. And that wasn't this particular house. That was another open house. But there's a lot of open houses going on right now. And I will tell you that I think they're going to be more, Jimmy, because um, if the new homes aren't cooperating, I think that agents need to use that information to have more open houses, because people are out there looking at houses. And if you can't participate in the commissions for some of the builders, you might want to have your own open houses, because it's getting to be that time of the year when people, like I was just saying, December, January, February, we're almost, done with the holidays. And I think that people are going to be looking at more homes, and I know that from historical data.
Well, and it's nice weather. It's nice to be driving around right now looking at houses. It's not snowing here, and it's not too windy right now, and no rain, and this is a good time to look for houses.
It really is. It really is. So, Jimmy, do you have anything you want to add today about agents being compliant?
I'm getting a lot of calls from agents about the multiple offer thing. And what I'm getting calls about is I'm not sure the listing broker actually presented my offer. They sent me a thing back that said, I want highest and best, or best and final, or whatever. And I gave them another offer, and I don't even know if mine was presented. I see it went into escrow, but they didn't tell me what happened. So as far as compliance go, if you're the listing broker, you have to communicate with the cooperating broker. It's in the rules. It's rules, MLS rules and regulations, and it's also in the state rules, state regulations. If you get an offer, you must give a response in writing. And if your seller won't give one, you have to. Now, email is written. So if you send me an offer, I at least need to give you an email back and say the offer was presented at 6 o'clock last night. There were multiple offers. The seller went with another offer. That's all. I don't have to tell you how much the other offer was, but I have to give you a response to go back to your buyers. And I can't lie. And I'm wondering, if I thought maybe it wasn't copacetic, could I get the file audited by LVR?
Oh, really?
I think I can. I think I can call the LVR and say, I want this file audited. I don't want to file a complaint at the real estate division, but I want you guys to audit the file, and I want to see why we lost. And if we lost to less money to the listing broker, I'm not sure they protected and promoted their client's interest. I think they might have been looking out for themselves, not for their client, because I had a higher offer. You told me it was presented. I'm not calling you a liar, but give me a good reason why the seller would take your offer that was lower than mine just because you're the listing agent.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Um, eh, let's see. Somebody had a comment here. Let's see. I've had problems with agents. They don't know how to use this form. Which
The
form are you
multiple counter,
referring?
the multiple
The multiple
counteroffer form
counteroffer,
he's referring
okay.
to, or she's referring to, the multiple
Okay.
counteroffer. We're getting multiple counteroffers.
And so that you have to do if you are accepting, like if I'm going to say I'm submit all offers by Friday.
Well, the multiple counteroffer does say that my seller will take this from the first guy that comes along if we let you know, yes, we took it. It's really, it's an auction. I mean, we almost should put the house up for saying the opening auction price is $295. That's my opening auction bid, because it's not really $295. We're seeing houses sell for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 over list.
Yeah.
And I had one this morning, just this morning, 8:30, guy comes in, he says, look, we had 4 offers, 2 were cash. They're $25,000 over the last sale. We have another offer that's $35,000 over list, but we're afraid of the appraisal. I'm probably going to counsel my seller, take the cash, because even though it's $10,000 less than the other offer, we don't have to deal with appraisal. And it's already $25,000 higher than the last comp.
So that subject came up, with my poker group. 4 out of 5 of us are agents.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the husband that isn't, but he does buy and sell real estate as an investment. But anyway, so one of the gals said, well, what she says is if you are going to come in over list and you have a loan, you need to say how you are going to handle the appraisal. Are you
Right.
going to chip in? Do you want the seller to chip in so that you don't get to that point of the appraisal and the house has been off the market for 2-3 weeks?
And that's for the listing broker. The listing broker needs to protect their seller. Look, if we take this offer, how far are you guys willing to go over the appraisal? Do you have the cash? Show us the proof of funds that you can pay more and that you're willing to pay more. And you and I both know, Ruthie, an appraisal is just one person's opinion of value. They call it an educated opinion of value, but the things that they're using as their basis are wrong. They're using sold properties. You can't buy those anymore. They're not reflective of the current situation that we're in. So it's flawed from the very beginning. Appraisers are smart people, and some of them are making adjustments to that as much as they can, but they have rules. They have USPAP rules that they limit them. The enemy's not the appraiser. The enemy's the appraisal rules they have to go by.
And like I said the other day, as people start paying more than the appraisal, those things become the comps for the next home in that price range for the next appraiser. So that's how our median sales price is going to increase.
Right.
Makes sense?
Right. Yeah. And if you need some evidence about whether the market's going to crash or not, just look at all the cash buyers out there right now. These people have cash, and where are they putting their money? They're putting it in real estate. Follow the money. We talked about the $1 million market, but I mean, it was $305,000 the offer this morning at 8:30 when I got here. This guy was telling me he had 2 offers, both cash, both 305. The house was listed at 285. They're 20,000 over list. He had another offer that was higher, but it was finance. So people with cash, they're buying houses.
Yes, yeah, and I think in the seller's best interest, the cash deal where they don't want an appraisal really removes, makes that a better offer, even if the loan one is more, even if the one with a loan is more. It's not always about more, and that's what my poker friend said. It's about, what are the terms that are going to make this deal come together?
Well, and I'm reminded, I have a fiance right now. So far, she hasn't gotten rid of me. And I'm reminded, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? Mr. Seller, do you want to get the most money or do you want to close the deal? Which one do you want to do? If you want to close the deal, the most money might not be the closing one. You want to be right or get paid? What do you want to do? Let's break this down. The cash offer might be the better offer.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, we just had one. I'll tell a short example. We just had one that the buyer came in at list price, all cash. No, $2,000 less than list price, but all cash. And let for sake of example, it's $278,000. And so $278,000. And then while we were looking over the offer, Jimmy, the buyer's agent said, if he counters this offer, we may not accept it because someone else down the street is going to list their house for 272,000, right? So bingo, that was my negotiating tool. When I talked to the seller, I said, if you don't take this offer, because he wanted to come back and offer more and ask for more money. I said, if you don't take this offer the way it is, I said, and this buyer goes and buys that house for 272,000, that becomes the most recent comp. Now now we put your house back on the market, and now 278 is you're going to get a counter lower than 2,000 lower. You're going to get maybe 274,000 lower, right? So he's a Canadian, very frugal. He says, no, I want to counter back to 278. So I threw in 0.5% of my commission and paid for the home warranty to get the deal. Because I mean, I knew that was going to be worth my time. That money that I gave up was going to be worth my time, because it was going to be a back and forth battle on the subsequent offers. And yeah, I mean, so I'm just throwing that out there as, maybe a negotiating tool if you all get into that position.
Well, you opened this conversation with compliance. Look at Roy McCann's comments in the chat.
Okay.
He talks about they had an FHA offer. The buyer said they would pay overappraisal. Then the buyer changed their mind, and he wonders, what recourse do we have against that first buyer? Well, the question is, they resold it to someone else. Did they sell it for the same price or more? Because if they sold it for the same price or more, I'm not an attorney, but I don't think they have recourse. They got what they wanted for their house. You have to be damaged to go after somebody. How was the seller damaged? If the first buyer said, I changed my mind, I know I said I would pay the difference, but now I don't want to pay the difference, and then you turn around and sell it to someone else, I don't think your seller would, I think they'd have a hard time proving damages. If you want to sue somebody, the first question is, what were the damages and whose fault is it? If the damages are less than $5,000, move on. Just move on. Just get over it. If the damages are way more than 5,000, and now you got to say, okay, whose fault is this really? Is it worth going after? Because I can get the amount of the damages plus punitive or whatever. But Roy's right. You've wasted time and lost time with this first buyer. But chasing them, to me, if you didn't get less money, chasing them is a bigger. You're chasing. What do they say? The barn door is open or closed or something like that. The horse is gone. Just move on.
Yeah, right. That's a good point. That's a good point. Well, we're going to continue to have these issues as this is the first time we've had a market quite like this, where the loan has had so many different terms. Like you just said, the appraisal has, what do they have to follow, Jimmy? I'm sorry.
USPAP. It's called USPAP, USPAP. Something about USPAP is the appraiser's guide that tells them all the regulations that they have to follow when they're doing an appraisal. And an example would be like cracked windows. If you're the appraiser, you're supposed to see the windows are cracked. You're supposed to tell them, look, fix the cracked windows. If we're going to put a 30-year loan on here, we want the windows fixed. That's a USPAP type rule. Okay.
And the application of the buyers right now, I mean, we're under a lot more conditions than we were back when the market was this brisk, back in 04, 5, 6, 7, 8, when we crashed. So I think that we've got to really school our sellers. And I'm not really sure, like with my seller, who then he has another house he wants me to sell, and he wants it way overpriced. And I'm thinking, he's from Canada again, and he's reading all this stuff about how the market's going crazy. And I just, I don't know. Again, if someone's going to pay that price and they're going to be all cash, so be it. Because there aren't that many houses, and investors are knowing. This is one thing, everybody. Investors know that the rents have gone up. The rents have gone up like 13%. They have really gone up. And especially, in our surrounding states, I believe the rents have gone up the most in Arizona and California. So our rents are soon to follow, I'm sure. So now the investors say, okay, well, if I can rent it for $1 a square foot or $1.05 a square foot, then $1.05 a square foot, then I'm going to have a positive cash flow at this price. They're pretty smart.
And you and I know appraisers look at three things. They look at the replacement cost. What is it cost to rebuild a house? They look at the market approach. What are their house? And they look at the income approach. And they look at all three of those every time they do an appraisal. So the income approach, as you've said, that's justifying higher prices right now.
Yep, it is. And we put in the property management, our property management department, we'll put something in the MLS. It's gone. And then we get all these flooded with phone calls, because, sometimes they looked at it yesterday and we just put it, and then they get mad at us. And it's like, how do we keep everybody happy in this market? I don't know. And Jimmy, I'm not, when can we evict people again? Is it September?
I haven't heard that that's gone through. I've heard rumors that that's what they're proposing, but I haven't heard that that's gone through yet. So if it has gone through, it should be on the real estate division's website on their splash page. You go to red.nv.gov, our listeners here, if they go to red.nv.gov, that is worth going there just to see the bulletins that they posted recently. It's worth going there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I did one thing this weekend, Jimmy. I posted the blog for Agent Formula, and I based it off of course, the market. This is the Las Vegas Market Watch that we do once a month. And then we blast it out to everybody's, whoever's in your CRM, they get this in the form of a newsletter, and then they get the previous 2 daily blogs with it. So it's a very nice newsletter. And throughout the blog, we have places to say, click here to see all the available luxury homes. Click here to see all the virtual tours. Click here to see what your home is worth. So it's an opportunity once the person gets the email to click and go back to your website to find out what their home is worth, or, to get you to do a CMA for them, a market analysis. What do you call it?
The market research.
Market research.
The market research, yeah.
Yeah. And then also for them to see the available homes in Las Vegas. And I'm going to put this down. If you look on your website this morning, you have an Agent Formula website. I always take the quotes from NAR Young, Dr. Young, because he's so bright. And he is basically saying that he sees this market continuing to be brisk throughout this year, and prices continue to rise. Mm-hmm. So I think that this is something the agents need to read. It comes from NAR, comes from, good information. And then also this NAR put this out, and I included this infographic in the blog. So, this tells people nationally. I have a Las Vegas section on the blog, and then I have a national section on the blog, because we are going out to other states. So everybody, if you have the Agent Formula website, get this information on your business page and LinkedIn, do a video about it, whatever you want to do to use this information, because it's really valuable. And people right now, we're in the forest, so we don't, we see all the stuff that's going on, but the people that outside are looking in, and they want to know what's going on. So I think this is such an opportunity for us to tell everybody. Yeah, and so the interest rate just above 3%. Yeah, the interest rates are going up, and that's the other thing. When you tell them this, you send it out to them. It does have that the interest rates have risen a little bit. So I try to make it as complete as possible, and it will go out today. It goes out in cycles, so that it doesn't jam up the email system. But it goes out. Probably everybody has it in their inbox this morning, hopefully. Yeah, so great weekend, great week ahead of us. It's the last week of February, Jimmy.
I have a closing thought. I have a sales meeting tomorrow, so I won't be here, but this is going to take a second. You got time for this?
Absolutely.
Okay. You said, how do you please everyone? Bill Cosby is attributed with the quote, I may not know the secret to success, but I know the secret to failure is to try to please everyone. Now that quote is attributed to Bill Cosby a lot. It was actually said by a guy named Herbert Bayard Swope. Now, Swope was the first winner of a Pulitzer Prize. This guy was no slouch. How come Bill Cosby gets attributed with, I may not know the secret to success, but I know this? Because of celebrity. And you have told people, get your geographic farm, get your geographic farm. If you can be the star, I would rather have 2 listings in one neighborhood than 3 listings spread out all over town. The impact is greater for those two, for the celebrity. People will call you because of your celebrity. So you have been preaching this geo farm, and I'm just piggybacking on that. If you want to compete in today's market and you don't have a geographic farm where people recognize, oh, I know who Ruthie Rocks is. She's all around here. I get something from her every month. That's what it takes, that consistency. Geo farm, really a big deal.
Yes, yes, and thank you for that. And yesterday, Jimmy, on my show, I just want to bring attention because I did say, do you have a PMA, which means do you have a positive mental attitude? And if you listen to yesterday's show, I played Dale Carnegie's his recap, and it's him actually, Napoleon Hill. He is actually recapping this book, and this is such a wonderful book, Jimmy. And you know, people, you need to have a positive mental attitude, and that doesn't mean that you please everybody. That means that, you know,
Right.
you're pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
You can be pleasing, and it's in this book of
Good.
the 17 points of developing your positive mental attitude. And a lot of it is just about being a happy, pleasing, like you say, we're consultants. We're
Mm-hmm.
happy to share our information.
Yeah.
And again, this is a great show yesterday, and I found this old video that he did. And if you didn't see it yesterday, watch it because, you know, there he is. And it's a great video, everybody. I love you. Have a great week. Jimmy, I'll miss you tomorrow. I'll probably do some social media training or something tomorrow. And I have a law class at 10 o'clock, so I got to run. Hopefully, if you need law, you signed up. Bye, everybody. Love you.
See ya. Thanks.
Bye, Jimmy. Thank you.
Okay, Ruthie. Bye.